Today we will start the weathering process on the King Tiger. Is oil paint better than enamel paint? Let's figure it out. Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. In this video, we're gonna explore the working with oil paint versus enamel paint. For the first part, I'm just gonna do a what we call a pin washes on our Tiger King Tiger tank, and we're gonna start with enamel paint. You can also use oil paint. But for whatever reason, I always prefer to use enamel paint for the I would say the first step of the weathering process. Doing some pin washes, and I got this product from AK Interactive. It's specific to pin washes. In fact, it's the writing on the bottle say it pin washes. So instead of using oil paint and mix it with white spirit and things like that, I'm just going to use the straight from the bottle washes from AK Interactive. This one is burnt, kind of a burnt umber, but dark umber. The thing is, I'm not using pure black for the reason that the thing is kind of, let's say, on the pale side with the dark yellow, I would say the soft green and things like that. So if we're using a really dark washes, it's not gonna give the same feel as a kind of a brownish washes. This video is the number 3 of this ongoing series on the King Tiger. So if you didn't see the other 2 video, I will put the link in the description below if you want to watch it by yourself. The good thing about enamel wash is you can just remove the excess wash that you apply by mistake, or if you just want to do basically you can wash your entire vehicle instead of doing pin washes. The good thing about it is you can remove everything with enamel thinner after all. So in this case, I'm using the enamel thinner by MIG. MIG is my go-to solution for years now. I'm using washes. I'm using the enamel thinner. I would say all the old school guy will use the enamel thinner. And that's the result after our pin washes. So straight away, you can see that your model is start to pop a little bit more. Now we will explore working with oil paint. It's something that I do for years now, but I would say it's not something that it's more popular than enamel, because a lot of enamel paint are straight from the bottle. But we will try a technique that I use, I would say not often, but once upon a time, to get some more different layers, different not texture, because it's not texture, but just to highlight some details on the tank. So the first color I will use, and by the way, this method is called dot filters. So we're just basically doing some filters by applying small dots all around our vehicle. And in this case, I'm using 3 different colors. So I'm using white, I will use black, and I will use, it's kind of a burnt amber again, or dark brown or something like that. So it's only a matter of applying really small dots all over your tank. Basically, the more you apply, the more, I would say, layer of filter you will get, and I would say the more different transition you will get. With oil paint, it's really important that you don't use enamel thinner. In this case, you're using white spirit. That's the thinner for the oil paint. So white spirit, basically, it's kind of the same thing, and you can work with white spirit the same way you work with enamel thinner. So basically, just use your brush and apply a little bit of white spirit, and we're just gonna do some kind of a streaking effect, like we do some streaking for example, rain marks or different things like that. The dot filter way of doing it, it's basically the same thing. So we're gonna use oil paint to define different effect on our paint job. On the top surface, instead of doing the streaking motion, we will still apply some dots all around our turret in this case. So the top turret, instead of doing the streaking method, we will do some stippling. Like I said, it's a matter of where the streaking goes and things like that. Since the turret, all the soldier work on it or walk on it by using the stippling method, it's totally different. Now we're still gonna use our oil paint, and in this case, instead of using white spirit, we're not gonna use anything. So basically, it's kind of a dry filter to I would say put some more light to our model. You can see right now it's kind of super white, but like I said, you're just gonna kind of a dry brushing your model a little bit with the oil paint. Just a matter of applying some kind of a filter to our paint job, because right now our paint job is really sterile, or just leave me a comment if the way of saying it. But and we're still gonna use some white spirit, but in this case, instead of doing the streaking or the stippling with the white spirit on our paint brushes, we will do some kind of a brushes, like a dry application of the oil paint. And after all, we're gonna use the white spirit to clean up the excess paint that we apply. This method, it's not something that you will see really often, but basically it's only to put some light into my paint job. Now we're just gonna paint the exhaust gray, because in the next video we will start doing some rust effect on the exhaust. So the gray tone is the perfect starting color to your rust effect that we will do a little bit later. Now we will start working on our tracks. And if you watch the previous video, I decide finally to go with my metal tracks. I got those tracks for, I don't know, a couple months now, and why not using it? The King Tiger is an absolute beauty, so why not using some metal tracks? Because for me, the metal tracks are kind of the crown jewel of your model. So basically, I'm just mixing tile grout with a little bit of light dust deposit. I'm just doing basically a mixture, and that's after we basically do some kind of a small weathering. We will apply this mixture all over your model. It's not mandatory at this point, depending on what kind of effect you are looking for. But for me, it's a diorama in Normandy, Eastern Europe, in 1944. So that's why I'm starting to basically get some texture. So that's why I'm applying this mix of tile grout and light dust deposit. And now to do some variation, I'm gonna use my airbrush. I'm gonna do a mix of light mud, flat earth, and German black. Basically, I would say the light mud will be 60% and 30 of flat earth and maybe 10% of German black. So I'm just spraying the airbrush. I'm trying to focus on between all the track layer, but it's not super important because you're gonna see later if you apply a little bit more paint that you used to. We can remove it and wipe it off with our baby wipes. I'm just gonna do the interior, but I would say not painting all the tracks, just the I would say the exterior layer of our tracks, because we're gonna apply some graphite in the next video when we start the real weathering process. Like I said, if you put too much paint on the tracks themselves, just use a baby wipe, sorry, not white, but a baby wipe, and you can remove easily the excess paint that you apply. So like you see, it's super easy to remove everything with the baby wipes. So that's the result so far. We did some different variation, different color tone, and for the next video, we will start the weathering process. That's probably the most fun part of doing scale modeling. So I hope I will see you in the next one. The next one will be next week. See you guys.